Hello there, good evening and welcome to Business Brief here on TV3. My name is Michael Obodu. Before we bring you our top stories, let's check out some other stories that have been making the rounds in the world of business today.
Today in business, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ichie-Ahene warns of job losses if government goes ahead with planned takeover of the NIB by ADB Bank. Dr. Ichie-Ahene has therefore urged government to reconsider its decision to avert possible downsizing. Ghana's startup funding landscape declines to $25 million from $187 million in raised equity and debt deals during the first half of 2023, a downturn of 86%. This decline shows a potential shift in Ghana's startup ecosystem, prompting concerns within both the entrepreneurial community and among investors. Google is in counts for a high-stakes trial brought by the U.S. government. Prosecutors say the outcome will determine the future of the internet. The tech giant is accused of abusing its power to dominate the search market by paying to be the default option on products like Apple phones.
Now to our headline story, as the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, has attributed claims of falsified trade documents by the Ghana Revenue Authority to high tax rates in the country, even though it rejected claims of conniving with agents to engage in such practices. Public Relations Officer of GUTA, Joseph Pardy, however, indicated that government should review its taxes on imported goods to ensure compliance. He spoke on Business Focus.
It makes compliance of tax very low. When your tax rate is high, compliance is low, because no businessman wants to go out of business. The first intention of every businessman is to maximize profit. If even not anything at all, he must be able to break even. But if he's doing business, not even breaking even as a result of this high tax, because to be surprised, after you'll be surprised that taxes on product is even more than the cost of the item itself. And let me give a typical example. You go abroad and go and buy a Toyota Corolla for about $3,000. And then you come to Ghana and you are paying a duty for about 43,000 Ghana. So the tax itself is even more than the cost of the item. So if it happens that way, compliance, because that is why it's an open secret. You see that people are transporting their cars through Togo and stuff. So why do we position your tax regime into? So if we have to do anything to at all, let's review our tax rate so that compliance will go up. But I don't think the GRA should use these two issues to benchmark all the trading community that we are undermining government or we are under invoicing of our invoices. I don't think that's the real position.
Now, Managing Director of Access Bank PLC, Olumide Olatunji, has admonished SMEs and entrepreneurs to always use loans from banks and other financial institutions for their intended purposes. This is coming on the back of concerns that loans are not used for their acquired purpose. He called on entrepreneurs to allay their fears of sourcing financial assistance from financial institutions.
Access to finance, especially for SMEs and entrepreneurs, has been a challenge in developing countries, including Ghana. However, Managing Director of Access Bank PLC believes that, on the contrary, financial institutions are willing to provide funding for businesses so long as they comply with stipulated agreements. He believes that financial institutions will be willing to finance the operations of entrepreneurs once they put the loans sourced from financial institutions to their intended use.
Once you take a loan from the bank, it's advisable to use it for the purpose that you took the loan for, and then the bank will be encouraged to give you more and more, and in that process you can grow your business. So this is Access Bank's demonstration to support the creative sector of the Ghanaian economy and to build capacity and financial inclusion and financial literacy. You can access the loan from your phone, so you don't even have to come to the bank.
Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, says banks need to rebuild capital buffers to support their operations. He was speaking at the launch of the 60th anniversary of the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana.
The banking sector has shown some improvement with the half-year performance, despite the significant losses of last year. Looking ahead, banks are expected to rebuild capital buffers to support their operations. Let me take this opportunity to assure the public that the Bank of Ghana will continue to monitor developments and ensure strict regulatory and ethical compliance in the banking sector to ensure a stable and resilient financial system, contributing significantly to the overall growth and development of our economy.
Let's stay a while longer in the banking sector as economist Professor Lord Mensah has kicked against calls for ADB Bank to recapitalize in order to have the financial muscle to absorb NIB. According to him, this would take a toll on government's finances.
We're looking at, two banks, and these are all state interest, banks, ADB and then NIB. Now, recapitalizing ADB at whose cost? It's the state cost. And from where I sit, looking at the economic situation, we don't have to incur any extra cost as a country to recapitalize, ADB for it to have that financial muscle to absorb, NIB. Now, the two banks, if we look at the way they've been spread across the country, clearly we know, it employs people, across. Talking about NIB, for instance, it has a way of, covering, let me say, the triangular, broad base of the country, economic broad base of the country, Kumasi, Accra, and then, Takoradi, and then even further to the north. So from where I sit, I think if you look at the way and manner they've spread, let's take into consideration the social impact as well. And we cannot take for granted the kind of employment, NIB has created.
Let's now turn our attention to the currency market and find out how major forex are faring today. Well, that will be all for Business Brief here on TV3. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. We have more business stories for you. My name is Michael Obudru. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.